Hello everyone, dear viewers of this channel, and as always, I'm your unchanging host, Stas Bas. And today we have a review for you. Here is a brand new product, very loud. It's a sub-brand of ACL and it's the Special Hybrid NF-200. The SPL Show lineup is mainly designed for competitions and achieving high performance from various products. That's why this stage speaker uses all the top-tier solutions to achieve a powerful, rich sound. Loud and at the same time high quality thanks to this rather powerful magnet. A ferrite magnet is installed, and the key feature is that essentially the design is hybrid. Inside this magnet there's also a small neodymium tablet installed, which increases the sensitivity of this speaker and really brings out its performance in the upper notes of the sound range. The 3-wave surround and the rather sturdy cone allow for this. They provide a fairly large linear excursion for this speaker, which in turn helps it deliver a rich, powerful punch and reach impressively low frequency. I'd also like to point out the built-in lead wires sewn into the spider with spring-loaded terminals, which makes connecting these speakers much more convenient. You don't need to set up any special connectors. You just insert the bare wire into the spring terminal and you get to enjoy listening. It's actually quite a hefty thing, and I always believe that good things should have a solid weight to them. On the box we have the full specs for these speakers. We can see that it can play from 90 Hz up to 12 kHz. The standard impedance for this speaker is 4 ohms and the rated power is 250 watts. That's all because it has a coil 1.5 inches with a pretty impressive winding using high quality lacquer. And today we're going to pump enough power into this speaker to test it at full volume. The frequency response graph is also displayed on the box. Have you ever actually seen a manufacturer put the frequency response graph right on the box so the consumer can immediately understand in which range it plays brighter and which frequencies stand out? Man, that's actually really cool. Like for the consumer, especially for those who really understand all this, I'm thinking in particular of athletes. It's a great sign that the manufacturer isn't hiding any details about this speaker from you at all. Another thing I want to point out about this speaker is its sensitivity. 99.6 decibels, which is practically 100. And all this means that you don't necessarily need some super powerful fancy amplifiers to unlock the potential of this speaker. For example, if you already have one on board, an amplifier that's 4x100, you can easily connect it to this amplifier, and while you might not get the absolute maximum, you'll still get a good performance from this speaker since it has great sensitivity. Our company takes great care in the quality of production for each of our products, so you'll never see things like glue leaks or anything like that. Everything is made neatly, with style, and thoughtfully designed. I'd also like to point out that the basket is coated with an anti-resonance layer, which helps to avoid unnecessary unwanted sounds from the speaker and achieve a fairly clean, good sound overall. There's a lot that can be said about this speaker, but let's allow it to speak for itself. And let's compare it with its competitors in a similar price range, hear which one plays louder, which one has better quality, and draw some conclusions. Of course, that's up to you. Let's get to testing and listening. This speaker And after listening to all three of these speakers, naturally you need to make some kind of conclusion immediately jumping ahead. All the speakers are in the same price category. Let's move on to Dial Audio. It has a 1-inch voice coil. Naturally, because of this, you can hear that it reaches higher in sound. You could say it gives the sound a bit of a sandy texture. Thanks to these high frequencies and the fact that the coil here is lighter, naturally you won't be able to put as much power into this kind of speaker as you could with SPL Show, Hybrid or Pride Ruby. Also, in my personal opinion, this speaker lacks low frequencies. It does have some punch, but it's not as deep. Compared to the SPL Show Hybrid, it also falls a bit short. And as for the Pride, they're more or less on par. By the way, in terms of punch and low frequencies, the speakers are very similar. But look, if we take the Pride, for example, it also has a bit of a sandy sound. In the highs, it has a lot of mid-range, but it doesn't have the same balance as the SPL Show Hybrid. You can hear that the hybrids have a smoother frequency response. It's noticeable. Every instrument in the track is also distinct, as is the vocal. It produces vocals very well, so in any case, you can draw your own conclusions. Guys, you've listened to these speakers. Be sure to write in the comments what you think about it, how you like the sound of our test. The hybrid speaker has moved ahead compared to its competitors in this category.